Hello everyone and welcome to another casual review. Today I'm talking about Kingdom Hearts 2, specifically the final mix version. I didn't specify that when I was talking about the Kingdom Hearts 1 casual review, but this is like the definitive version of the game. I played it through the Story So Far collection on the PlayStation 4. I remember as a teenager, it felt like I had to wait like decades between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and really it was only 4 years. I feel like games came out a lot more frequently than they do nowadays, where 4 years seems like no time at all to wait for a sequel. This game takes place after Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, and we actually start out as a character named Roxas in the Twilight Town. This section is notorious for its extra long beginning tutorial. I don't really think of it as a tutorial section, however. I think of it as a necessary part of the story. Without giving away too many spoilers, we do find out that Roxas is a part of Sora, and we need Roxas in order to revive Sora from his sleeping chamber that he got into at the end of Chain of Memories. Sora, Donald, and Goofy wake up without any memory of the events of Chain of Memories, but they are quickly swept up into the adventure that is Kingdom Hearts 2. Go into different worlds, defeating Heartless, but we also get a new enemy introduced in this game, the Nobodies. The idea of the Nobodies, as far as I understand it, because I'm sure I am going to get a lot of this stuff incorrect, whenever a Heartless is created, the empty body, the empty shell, then becomes a Nobody. And the antagonists of this game are a group of special Nobodies called Organization 13 that was introduced in Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. And so we are going to all these different worlds trying to defeat Heartless, Nobodies, and specifically find out more about the Organization 13 and put an end to their evil doing ways. And typical to Kingdom Hearts style, you're going to be visiting a lot of different Disney worlds. Some are new, others are repeats. For instance, Mulan's world is brand new to this game, but you will return to Hercules' world. However, I feel like for the worlds that you do return to, they mix things up and make them different enough that they are still a unique experience. So for instance, Hercules' world in the first game is more of like an arena-based Coliseum, whereas this one you're actually going to the underworld. There's a whole plot going on with Hades. They introduce a Final Fantasy character, Auron, from Final Fantasy X. You also return to like Nightmare Before Christmas world, but instead of just playing entirely in Halloween Town, you are also going to be visiting Christmas Town. But I think that they do a good job of introducing new worlds and refreshing old worlds that you may have visited previously. One of the potentially frustrating things about this game that you may or may not like or dislike, you do return to pretty much every single world that you've gone to a first time after you do hit that midpoint in the game. So you're going to be going to Mulan early on in the game, but then you will be revisiting Mulan a second time. Same with most of the other worlds. And while the first time you visit the worlds kind of is loosely based around the story of the Disney movie, the second is almost like an entirely new story, but usually it tends to revolve a little more around Organization 13 and the Heartless compared to just trying to rehash a Disney classic but in a Kingdom Hearts sense. Another character that will be visiting these worlds with you, but from an antagonistic sense, is Pete. He is trying to control the darkness. He's basically like Maleficent's henchman, and so oftentimes you're going to be going to these different Disney worlds, and then there will be Pete trying to collaborate with the bad guy. So like he's collaborating with Scar or the bad pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean. And I think it's interesting that as many times as we see Pete, ultimately he didn't really have that much effect on the overall story. So I do feel like returning to these worlds, all of these worlds a second time, did kind of feel like filler. I feel like usually when I do play these Kingdom Hearts games, I am more just playing through the Disney stuff as kind of a break in between like the deep and heavy Kingdom Hearts lore. But oftentimes I am feeling that drive to further the Kingdom Hearts specific plot rather than just go to the Disney worlds, because I do start to get a little weary of playing through the Disney aspect of the game. But they are fun, and there are some genuinely sweet moments within these Disney worlds, these mini Disney plots. I do think it's funny that out of Sora, Donald, and Goofy, who is usually the one explaining things, the one who's usually the first one to figure things out, is actually Goofy. And I think they definitely like boost up Goofy in this game to be the logical one, the one who's always level-headed, who's always looking out for his best friends. But I do just love the trio of these characters as a whole, and I hope they get to stay together forever. Now, combat-wise, this game takes the core of Kingdom Hearts 1 and cranks it up to 11. Your combos specifically are going to get rather insane and customizable depending on how you build up Sora. For instance, the concept of abilities from Kingdom Hearts 1 is a lot more elaborate, and they are going to be throwing ability points at you all the time. You're always going to be, as long as you're like opening up all the chests that you come across, you're going to be coming across AP boosters that you can apply to Sora in order to unlock as many abilities as you possibly can, because this is going to make your combat experience so much more elaborate than it was in Kingdom Hearts 1. And I don't think that it's just tapping the X button over and over again. I don't think that will carry you to victory, especially for some of the Organization 13 boss fights. There's a decent majority of these abilities that you can unlock that change up your combos based if you're pressing X or the square button. And so there's abilities that launch your enemy up in the air in order to do like some kind of air combo on them. And you can also really customize these combos through the means of the Keyblades, whereas normally, like when I play the first Kingdom Hearts, whenever I get a new Keyblade, that's the new Keyblade that I attach, because it probably has the best stats until you get to the end of the game. In this game, in Kingdom Hearts 2, I feel like you really have a lot of choices in terms of what Keyblade you end up using, because different Keyblades suit different battle styles, and that can really affect like your different combos or where you are allocating your abilities and your stats. This game also introduces the concept of drives, and drives really influence how Sora's combos work. At first, you're just given the Valor form, which allows Sora to wield 2 Keyblades at the same time. But you also get like a Wisdom form and a Master form and a Limit form, and all of these different forms vastly affect Sora's combos and his gameplay. And the thing that really interested me about these drive forms is their ability to level up, and this is something that I think I just kind of ignored as a teenager when I was first playing this game. I didn't really like internalize that these forms can level up and get stronger the more you use them. And so as a teenager, I typically use these only for like important boss fights, but really you're going to want to be using these forms as many times as possible, because when they level up, Sora, the base form of Sora, also will inherently get new abilities. Usually they take place in the form of different traversal means. And so things that would just be given to you throughout the story of Kingdom Hearts 1, you have to unlock by leveling up your different drive forms in Kingdom Hearts 2. Your high jump, there's like an air dodge, your dodge roll, which I think is absolutely crucial for playing a Kingdom Hearts game. And so initially when I first played through Kingdom Hearts 2, I thought that these abilities just weren't in the game, but no, you have to earn them by leveling up your drive forms. And so if you do want to level up all of your drive forms, this is going to be rather grindy, but there are specific locations that are better for grinding than others. But it was always exciting whenever your drive form did level up, especially for a drive form that you really enjoy playing as. For instance, like the very first form that you get, the Valor form, is one of my favorite forms ever, and so I would use that a lot. And the cool thing about these different drive forms, leveling them up, is they all have different leveling requirements. And so for Valor form, you just got to go and hit as many things as you can until it reaches that threshold. But other drive forms, you have to defeat Heartless specifically, or defeat nobodies, or use your limits a certain amount of times. But if you do use the drive forms too many times, if you do abuse them like I did, there's a chance that you turn into an anti-form, which is basically like a Heartless Sora, and there's a whole lore reason as to why he does this, but it's kind of like a high-risk, high-reward form where you have really long combos where you're vulnerable, but it can potentially do a lot of damage. You can't manually get out of that form, you can't use any items, nothing like that. And you are using these drives by a resource, like this drive bar, almost like a mana type thing that slowly fills up as you are doing attacks. But you also use this bar, this resource, to use your summons. And maybe I didn't unlock the majority of these summons, but I feel like there was a significantly less amount of summons than there was in Kingdom Hearts 1. 1. But these summons themselves also can level up. So basically, like, the more you use your summons, the more you are burning through their abilities, the more your summons are going to level up and get more powerful. But because this also used the drive resource that I used to turn into my forms, I usually didn't do summons. The mana also works different in this game than Kingdom Hearts 1. In Kingdom Hearts 1, you had like mana bars, and every time you use a spell, it would use up one of those bars. In this one, it's almost like a meter, and once it's completely drained, then it will automatically start refilling back up. This makes magic a lot less punishing to use, but there is a longer break between using your different magic spells. The cool thing about when your magic is in that recharging mode, it does make your drive meter fill up faster. And so you're kind of cycling between using all of your different magic and using your drive forms. And this always keeps the combat and the gameplay rather interesting. And there's just a lot more limit options here as well. Like when you are partnered up with Goofy and Donald, you can unlock through abilities different limit special abilities that you can do with these characters. And it's the same for like any world. So if I go to Mulan's world, I can do like this special attack with Mulan. They have different collectibles in this game. For instance, the final mix version of Kingdom Hearts 2 has these puzzle pieces that are hidden throughout all the different areas, and you will need to level up your drive forms in order to gather up some of them. But the idea is you gather up all of the puzzle pieces, and then you can like arrange them together to form a picture from the Kingdom Hearts series, and you get different awards for that. The puzzle pieces kind of replace the Dalmatians that were in Kingdom Hearts 1. The torn pages from Winnie the Pooh's world also make a return. I feel like they are a lot more difficult to miss than in Kingdom Hearts 1, because as long as you're keeping your eyes open as you're navigating through these worlds, you're probably going to find the majority of these torn pages naturally, whereas I feel like in Kingdom Hearts 1 you did have to look a little bit harder in order to find them all. And the Winnie the Pooh world works pretty much just like how it did in Kingdom Hearts 1. I do feel like the mini games in this one are a lot more exciting and doable than in Kingdom Hearts 1, but it's basically the same thing. You do the mini games, you get awarded with some potential new items that are useful, and then some cute cutscenes. There's also these mini games that are like outside of Winnie the Pooh's world, just while you're playing through the game. Like there's some more like FPS kind of sections where you're trying to shoot toys into present boxes, or you're trying to like escort Minnie throughout the Disney castle. So they do vary the combat from time to time, whereas it's not just like go defeat these Heartless or Nobodies. It's more like, hey, you gotta fight the Heartless while you're trying to do this thing over here. And I do think that they scaled back the majority of these random encounters compared to Kingdom Hearts 1, where you're just constantly running into these random encounters. The encounters themselves in Kingdom Hearts 2 felt more curated, and the game as a whole did feel more linear than in Kingdom Hearts 1. Like if you go to a world in Kingdom Hearts 1, you're going to be bouncing back and forth and a ton of backtracking trying to figure out what to do and where to go. Kingdom Hearts 2 was fairly straightforward, and you're probably not going to get lost progressing through the main story, at least. I do think that they made the Colosseum in Hercules world worse than in Kingdom Hearts 1. In Kingdom Hearts 1, if you're doing the Colosseum, if you're playing through these cups, you do accrue XP. So if you lose the cup, at least you have the XP, so it wasn't a total waste of time. That's not really the case in this one. In this one, Hades opens up this underworld Colosseum, and each of these cups has its own different like requirements. Like, okay, for this one, Sora's battling all by himself. He doesn't have Donald or Goofy to help him, but you can use drives as many times as you want, or very frequently. In this one, Sora can only use summons, and he's not allowed to use any drives. And I don't like that it restricts you that way, but the biggest offense of all is Sora doesn't accrue experience points as he's playing through these Colosseums, and so it can feel like a waste of time, especially if the reward at the end of the cup isn't something that you could necessarily use or necessarily want. I also think that they did Ariel dirty in this game. I loved playing through in Kingdom Hearts 1, swimming through Atlantica. It's this whole world of these underwater Heartless, and while some people probably didn't like the swimming function in Kingdom Hearts 1, I think I preferred it better than how they did Ariel in this game, because you're basically just watching a bunch of Little Mermaid cinematics, and then when there is gameplay, it's a very bad rhythm game. It would be a different story if it was a good rhythm game, but it's not really the case here. And they do add little quirks and twists, like, oh, if it's Sebastian's picture, ignore the button prompt. But still, it wasn't that engaging. It was fun watching the cinematics, but I think I'd rather watch the cinematics and have more traditional Kingdom Hearts gameplay. The gummy ship battles got a incredible upgrade. Rather than just this basic on-rail shooter that's all blocky as in Kingdom Hearts 1, it is a more interesting and exciting on-rail shooter in Kingdom Hearts 2. They give you a lot of unique gummy ships, like pre-built gummy ships. You're always welcome to like build your own gummy ship if you want, but they give you these pre-built ones. I know that they did in Kingdom Hearts 1 as well, but it's a lot more accessible and easy to change your gummy ship on the fly because you're able to choose your gummy ship, which one you want to play the level through, but right before you play through the level, rather than having to go visit Sid like it was in Kingdom Hearts 1. But just visually, thematically, these gummy ship battles are a lot more exciting. I wouldn't say they're overly difficult though. I still think that they are fairly brain dead, and you don't really need to be trying that hard in order to clear these gummy ship levels. But you know, especially some of these end levels, you do need to be paying attention or you won't be able to clear the level. I also think that synthesizing got a really big upgrade in this game then from Kingdom Hearts 1. Synthesizing is like a crafting system. You're defeating these enemies, Heartless and Nobodies, and you're accruing materials, and then you use those materials in order to craft new items, weapons, equipment, that kind of thing. The cool thing about this is I love when things level up. Like the drive forms, I love how the more you use your drive forms, the more the level up, the better they get. It's the same here, where you have these Moogles who do the synthesizing for you, but they also can level up, which gives you additional benefits, like to craft this item, it requires less materials, or if you add this item when you are synthesizing, it gives you an upgraded version of that item. And so it's more, they made crafting actually pretty exciting because crafting has its own level up system. As you can probably see by now, there is a ton of side content to do if you don't want to progress the main story. One of these other side things that Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix introduced is your ability to square off with these Organization 13 members, kind of like additional side bosses. These side bosses are very, very difficult, and I wouldn't recommend going into these as you're playing through the main game. You're probably going to need to return to these side bosses later as you get a really good understanding of the combat system of Kingdom Hearts, and you really build up your character. And that's the funny thing about just like Kingdom Hearts as a whole, is I wouldn't say that Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2 are like overly difficult games until they are. Like the majority of the game you can probably get through just by mashing the X button, but once you get to some of these secret bosses or end game bosses, you're really going to need to use that strategy. You're going to need to learn how to block, how to parry, things like that. They do have in combat this reaction command where you get to watch like a cool little cinematic as you are defeating the enemy, and through the main story you will be using these reaction commands to do cool attacks, but they don't happen that often in these really difficult side challenges. Like maybe if you time it just right, you can pull it off, but otherwise I wouldn't rely on just mashing the X button and waiting for a reaction command. Now, on the topic of Organization 13, this is where things get rather complicated for me, at least. I remember talking about this in my Kingdom Hearts 1 review, where I was able to keep up with the story of Kingdom Hearts 1 fairly well, and I was kind of praising the game where it's like as simple or complicated as you can handle, as you want it to be. But Kingdom Hearts 2 basically demands that this complicated story is a part of the main story, and if you don't understand it, then you're probably not going to understand what's going on in Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, up to this point, I was able to follow along with Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, but once you start talking about Ansems who are not Ansems, they're actually Xemnases who are Xehanorts and different forms of Xehanorts, that's when you really start to lose confuse me, but I am trying. I'm trying my best to understand the whole Ansem, Xemnas, Xehanort, nobody, heartless kind of situation. I'm hoping that as I play through the other Kingdom Hearts games, most of this stuff will start to make more sense to me, but I think I have a lot of YouTube explanations in my future in order to fully understand this complexity that is Kingdom Hearts. It's just such a funny juxtaposition because at one point in the game, you are playing through Little Mermaid, singing songs and trying to get Ariel with Prince Eric. But the other side of this game, you're learning about the darkness that lasts forever and the equal nobodiness that is eternal with Xehanort here and giant dragons. Like, it's such a crazy comparison between the two, and it's crazy that they are all in just like one singular game. Now, as far as the dialogue in this game, it is pretty corny. Like, this is nothing new to the Kingdom Hearts series. Some of the stuff just doesn't really seem to be natural. Like, a character will say something super serious and in-depth, and then the character they're talking to will just shrug and laugh, you know, like it's kind of random that way. It doesn't feel organic, but that's okay. That might be due to like translation issues maybe. But other times when you are playing through this story, some of the moments feel so emotional, and I'm sitting here tearing up as I'm watching this epic cinematic between Sora and Roxas, or King Mickey and Riku. Like, some of the story beats are so gut-punchingly emotional, I can't help but get invested, despite the corny dialogue at times. And there's so many like epic moments too, like so many cool cinematic fights that are just jaw-dropping. Even to this day, I'm like, man, that was a awesome cinematic. That was an awesome battle. Even some of these like reaction commands, like so many times I felt like, wow, I'm so cool for having done that. But really all I did was press the triangle button. Sora's the one who did all the epic, really cool combat scenarios. But to say that I wasn't completely emotionally invested in this game would be a lie, because I am all in with the Kingdom Hearts series at this point. I'm so excited that there are just so many other Kingdom Hearts games for me to play through, because even though I maybe only understand about like 50% of what's going on, I am hooked. And because I've played the majority of the Final Fantasy games as well, I get really excited about the Final Fantasy character moments as well. When I first played through Kingdom Hearts 2 as a teenager, I didn't know who any of these guys were. But now, having played through Final Fantasy VIII, I know who Squall is. And then you get these so many like different cameos that I thought were unique to Kingdom Hearts, but no, these are Final Fantasy characters. Like the three fairies, it's the three girls from Final Fantasy X-2. No way, I didn't remember that they were in this game. Or you have Setzer just randomly from Final Fantasy VI in the beginning section of Kingdom Hearts 2. I thought Setzer was a Kingdom Hearts character, not a Final Fantasy character. I knew Vivi, I've never played Final Fantasy IX, but I knew Vivi was a Final Fantasy character. But like the fact that I have now played Final Fantasy VII and VIII, and now in this game, I can watch Squall and Cloud fight back to back against a ton of Heartless. Just an epic moment. And they actually bring in Sephiroth a little more into the story of Kingdom Hearts 2 rather than an additional endgame boss from in Kingdom Hearts 1. He has a lot more lines, and like Cloud is actively seeking him out, which is awesome. I think it's just funny replaying this game from when I was a teenager, because I really liked this game as a teenager, but I had no idea how much depth and complexity the actual gameplay was. When I was just playing it this time around, I really learned and I really dived into a lot of the extra content, like the leveling up, synthesizing, and drive forms, all of this side content. In previous playthroughs, when I played through like Little Mermaid's story, I would just do the first rhythm game and ignore it. But this time, I actually did play through all of it. Same with the 100 Acre Woods. My in-game time to beat this game was 25 hours. No, I did not 100% complete it. I feel like I could probably tack on another potential 30 hours trying to 100% complete this game. But I do feel like I spent a lot more time this playthrough than I did in my previous playthroughs. And it gave me a better appreciation for Kingdom Hearts 2. I think that this game also deserves a 5 out of 5. I do think it is one of the best Kingdom Hearts games and probably one of the best action RPG games. And so continuing on my Kingdom Hearts journey. I've played through 1, Chain of Memories, and Kingdom Hearts 2, and if I'm going in order of release date, the next thing I gotta do is watch the 358 over 2 days, which was a DS game that did not get included in the Story So Far collection. What did get included were these remastered cinematics from the game, so unfortunately I'm not able to do a casual review about the game, but maybe I'll try my first YouTube short and I'll just casually review the video that has made onto the Story So Far collection. Well guys, that's it for me. I'll talk to you later. Bye!
So, what do you guys do for fun?
We do sex.
That's not quite what I meant.